5. The rule of information containment. No future knowledge can be shared with the past. No stock market data. No technological blueprints. No medical breakthroughs. But humans leak information constantly. A phrase, a concept, a warning. Even cultural exposure can accelerate progress. How do you stop someone from accidentally inspiring a breakthrough decades early? You can't. And once information spreads, it cannot be recalled. Time becomes asymmetrical, the future bleeding uncontrollably into the past. 6. The rule of travel or limitation. Who gets to travel? Scientists, governments, military, corporations. Limiting access would be essential, but history shows us something disturbing. Every powerful technology eventually spreads. Nuclear knowledge, surveillance tools, AI. Time travel would follow the same path. Once more than one actor controls it, enforcement collapses. Rules only work when everyone agrees to follow them, and humanity never has. 7. The rule of moral authority. The final rule is the most dangerous one. Who decides what changes are acceptable? Stopping a war saves millions, but changes geopolitics. Preventing a disaster saves lives, but erases futures. Every decision becomes godlike, and history shows us that no group, no matter how educated or well-intentioned, can be trusted with absolute moral authority. Time travel would force humanity to confront a terrifying reality. We are not wise enough to control our own power. Time travel doesn't fail because of physics alone. It fails because of us. Because enforcement requires perfect surveillance, perfect compliance, perfect morality, perfect restraint. And humanity has never demonstrated any of those. If time travel ever becomes possible, the greatest threat won't be paradoxes. It will be human behavior. If you enjoy thought experiments grounded in real science, ethical dilemmas, and mysteries that challenge reality itself, subscribe to SeventhMyst, because the future isn't just something we travel to. It's something we may not be ready to control. Imagine a future where time travel is no longer science fiction. The equations work. The technology exists. Humanity finally breaks the barrier of time. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The real danger wouldn't be traveling through time, it would be controlling it. In today's video, we explore 7 hypothetical rules that would be absolutely necessary if time travel ever became real. And more importantly, why enforcing even one of them might be impossible. This is not fantasy. This is a thought experiment grounded in physics, ethics, law, and human behavior. Welcome to 7th. 1. The rule of non-interference. The most obvious rule: you cannot change recorded history. No altering major events. No stopping wars. No saving individuals whose deaths shape the future. On paper, this rule sounds simple. In reality, it collapses instantly. How do you define interference? Is speaking to someone interference? Is observing them interference? Even your presence changes outcomes. Physics already tells us that observation affects systems. Time travel would amplify that problem infinitely. Enforcing non-interference would require monitoring every action, every word, every unintended consequence. And the moment someone breaks the rule, history itself becomes unstable. To the rule of identity isolation, a traveler must never interact with their past self. This rule exists to prevent paradoxes, psychological collapse, and identity fractures, but enforcement is a nightmare. Facial recognition wouldn't work across time. DNA matches would be useless when the same DNA appears twice in the same era. Who monitors this? Who decides what counts as interaction? Even a glimpse could alter behavior. And if a traveler accidentally changes their own path, does the timeline punish them or reward them? 3. The rule of temporal jurisdiction. Which laws apply to a time travel? The laws of the year they came from, or the laws of the time they visit. If someone commits a crime in the past, but that crime doesn't exist yet in legal systems, who prosecutes? Time travel shatters jurisdiction. Courts rely on timelines, evidence, and causality. Time travel breaks all 3. Justice becomes subjective, and enforcement becomes arbitrary. For the rule of timeline preservation: if a traveler changes the past, Do we erase them? Do we correct the timeline? Or do we allow branching realities? If multiple timelines exist, enforcement becomes meaningless. Every rule violation simply creates another branch. But if timelines don't branch, then one violation could rewrite reality for everyone. This means enforcement would require temporal correction mechanisms, technology capable of undoing actions across time. At that point, who controls the reset button for reality?